Good morning, I'm Ferdi Salvador and welcome to Industry Beacon, where we shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, and the leaders shaping our future. And in each episode, we explore how they're staying ahead in their fields, one industry at a time. This morning, we speak to a force in the Philippine fashion industry. Just last month, Lulu Tan-Gan made a distinction of being the first female designer featured in the Red Charity Gala. Armed with her farm-to-fashion philosophy, the Queen of Knits sure is reshaping the way we see the industry. And here with us today is the one and only Lulu Tan-Gan. Good morning, Lulu. How are you?
Good morning. I'm feeling great now that I know that you're with me.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're so glad that you're here because, obviously there's a lot of things written about you and your career, you being as the Queen of Knits of the Philippines. But what do people want to know is, perhaps, how you started.
Okay, I started actually at the SM. It was still called Shoe Mart then,
Yes.
that time.
Let's not date ourselves.
I know,
Yeah.
okay. And I applied as a designer, but that time there was no opening because there were other designers ahead of me, like Cesar Galpo, Jim Goldborn, and then...
Greats as well, yeah.
Yes, and then they gave me a job as a buyer, fashion buyer for the Boutique Square, and after like 3 years, I requested to be one of the designers, house designers at SM.
And how
Yeah.
long was that until you branched
And
out?
that was like 1980 or 1979, and then I went on my own in 1985, out of probably opportunity, you call it, and luck. Yes.
But why knits?
Oh, I got into knitwear because when I was already at SM, I was looking through the profile of a lot of the suppliers.
Yes.
And I realized that knitwear was very interesting because it started with a yarn, and then you could actually weave your own material. You could weave the pattern, the texture that you want, choose the right colors that you want also. So that makes you create from the beginning, I mean like from source, which is the yarn, instead of buying a fabric that's already printed or it has its stripes and texture. So that for me was a very interesting challenge.
It was alluring.
Right, and I think it's also because I love craft. So people into craft are usually they love to innovate and create their own thingy.
But that's the true symbol or marking of a creative genius like yourself. But of course, during the time, at your very young age as a designer, with that department store, the Philippine textile industry was alive, At that time, I still remember, the likes of Dior would be in the Philippines, being manufactured here, outsourced in the Philippines. Do you think you still feel the same way about the Philippine textile manufacturing industry here?
I'm quite positive that there are some ways, but I think the shift of it, we could still create a textile industry, but I think we have to target the upper market.
Yes.
And focus on craft, becoming artisanal. Because when you say craft, it's handwork that's been there, stale, and not relevant to use. When you call it artisanal, some design aspect or new technology is added on.
Correct.
So it becomes relevant to modern use. And because we have very skilled makers or craftsmen, and we have very creative, Filipinos are very creative. I mean like from all sectors. I feel that with creativity and the skill put together and the right way of positioning our textiles, we can go far.
Let me backtrack.
But we need a leader.
Yeah, let me backtrack
Okay.
a little bit. The real question I wanted to ask you is the textile industry dead?
Right now, it is dead because we're not competitive to the other countries, even to our remote Asian neighbors. But as I said, I think if you are targeting a more niche market, easily we can tap a higher end market.
And you
Yeah.
said something key in my head, which is a leader. Okay, it doesn't
Yes.
have to be a politician or or an industry, giant. How do you think we should start getting that leader, and what type of leader should
okay.
we get aside maybe from yourself?
I know. I would say a leader still requires partnership, but a leader from the leader should be from our industry because you, as just like a business person, just like a creative person, she or he understands more the industry, the field, the specialization, the craft itself. But you also need a partner, which I think is the government, one person from the government who understands not just the needs but sees the positivity and of the resources that we have.
Right, but again,
Yeah.
not politicizing it at all, but I think the First Lady is actually, building
Yes.
rapport with creative minds and putting her name on it so that, people talk about it, right?
Right.
But more than anything, you talk about artisanals, artisans and artisanal craft. I'm looking at your outfit right now. It seems like you've created this.
Since maybe 12 years old.
That's a 12-year-old piece. Wow,
Yes.
and it's still functional and it's still alive, which means to say that artisanal craftsmanship is, par none. You as a designer, as a creative head, how did you get involved in your rapport with these weavers? Because I know sometimes, it can be a dying craft because nobody's buying it. Number one, nobody buys. Nobody wants to make, so it becomes a passion to them. It becomes
Right.
tradition, right? The second gen, third gen, fourth gen, they don't want to do that stuff anymore because they look for other lucrative industries to be in. So how do you convince them to keep producing?
Yeah, I think first step is being communicative. Second is being you must persevere.
Yes.
Because it's not very easy in a sense that you sort of have to bridge the gap as a creative person, and you can't be creative the whole time with the makers because they understand the skill, whereas you understand the possibility of it becoming bigger and more worldly, right? So that perseverance is really needed. Sorry, what's your question?
That's okay. You hit it on the head, right? I'm moving to the next
Okay.
one, which is, do you think our fashion industry is not progressing as fast in the commercial sense? I'm not talking about couturiers
Right. Okay.
or and the like, but once somebody talks about Filipiniana,
Okay.
immediately in your head you're talking about ternos and barongs, right? Does it have to be that way?
For me, I see it both ways. If tradition thrives
Yes.
with contemporary application and collaboration, and I think you have to marry with each other for contemporary, to become contemporary. Now, the reviving the terno is actually just assisting us to get back to our roots.
Yeah, which I love. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I might get bashed,
No.
but I love
Right.
wearing my barongs and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm proud of it. Yeah.
Because there's I would say two sectors. You have the culture and arts,
Yes.
which could be our inspiration,
Yes.
and that's very important.
Yes.
And then, as a fashion designer, we are supposed to be on the commercial side, making this tradition relevant
Yes.
and contemporary.
Yes.
And that eventually turns into business and it also extends into helping the communities.
Yes.
When they used to be just doing craft, what the designers can do is to make it relevant and change the texture, make it easier to use, easy to function. Yeah. Like this piña I think we have the perception of piña as being very stiff
Yes,
and hard,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But I think one of the innovations that I did, which is just the same material, but it is the usage and the handling. Because the usage is how you use it. Probably I would use, because I love the beauty of piña, it's ethereal, it's translucent.
Yes.
And I think it's so feather-light and featherweight, and it's so ethereal. And it should not be hidden with a thicker lining. So I think layering is a way you could update your piña. You could wear it with lace that makes it a little bit more feminine, more traditional. You could wear it with t-shirt, like the barong, you used to wear it with camiso.
The
Camisa
chino.
de chino.
Which I still do.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So that layering makes the fabric relevant, because piña is not as rough as or as sturdy as the commercially woven fabric, which is very
Cotton.
dense.
Yeah, with cotton.
Which is very
Yeah.
dense, no? Yeah.
Yes.
It's that the technical weave, that's the difference. In piña, it's very loosely woven because it's hand. And then the commercially woven fabrics are very tightly woven, so it's stronger, right? So this usage will help piña become more relevant to use.
And contemporary.
And handling, you can actually wash it. You don't have to dry clean
You
it all
shouldn't
the
dry
time.
clean it actually, but we'll get
Yeah.
back to that topic.
Okay.
We're going to take
You-
a quick break. Industry Beacon will be right back. Stay with us. And we're back. You're still watching Industry Beacon here on BNC. Still with us is fashion designer Lulu Tan-Gan. Before the break, we were talking about usage, layering, and being the piña fabric being diaphanous or translucent, as you said. I have a piece of history for you. This is why Filipinos wear barong and a shirt under before. Now is that apparently there was a president who wanted to present himself in front of rebels and want to show that he was not armed. That's why, thus
Nah.
the barong that you can see through.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, that was
Okay.
President Quirino. I can be mistaken,
Ah.
but President Quirino.
Okay.
I found this out 2 days ago, actually.
Okay.
So, very timely. Let's go back to your show, okay? And you are the first female designer featured for Red Charity Gala. And when we were watching the show, I was expecting gowns and stuff like that coming from you. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised that you presented the piña fabric in a very wearable manner that anyone could wear, male, female, young at heart, and young at age, right?
Okay.
What was your theory behind your collection?
I think my fashion philosophy is that fashion should be relevant to use. It should be wearable, and being a ready-to-wear designer for all these years, I guess it's already in my DNA that I design something that could be easily worn and handled, no matter how fragile it is.
Yeah, like you
There
said,
is
you
a
should
way
wash
to-
this. You should not
Right,
dry clean it
yeah.
because they become more
Brittle.
Brittle, yeah.
Yes. But I think it depends on how you want it. Like, I like piña to be more boheme.
Yes.
More, it's like to show the beauty of its soft elegance instead of the stiffness. Though the stiffness is nice when you need
Yes.
elegance for more formal wear. So, well, it's just good to know that you could hand wash it. And ideally is to iron it. Oh, I'm giving instructions now.
No,
Okay,
but
wait.
you should wear it every day, right? That's why I love
Yeah,
your
you
collection because to me, I can wear it every day. In fact, I'll totally wear it on my show, right?
Of course.
Yeah. But tell me this: who have you dressed in the past and currently that are noteworthy?
I think every customer is noteworthy
Okay,
for
yes.
me because I think I believe in diversity, and I think one of the reasons why I have gone through this journey of I would say transforming piña from something untouchable, maybe,
Yes.
or unreachable, or unknown to a lot of the young people. I translate it into a younger look, just so that it's easier to reach the market. Yeah, and I appreciate all my customers from way back. And because I started with knitwear, a lot of them are Filipinos who jet setters who travel to New York,
Yeah.
to colder countries.
I still have your
and
pieces.
Today, when they come back, they always remind me that they still have the knitwear,
Yes.
like you.
That was at least 12
Yeah.
years ago. I still remember
Right.
my cardigans. And in
Oh,
fact,
yes.
I wore it, I think, 3-4 weeks ago.
right.
Because I can fit in them now again. What about
good.
dream collaborations? Who do you want to, work with internationally?
Maybe Dries Van Noten.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're pushing the right buttons with me. Dries is amazing.
Yeah, because I think Dries is an artisanal designer.
Yes,
He
yes.
really starts with making his own fabrics. Yeah, from the print to the dyeing to all the handcraft. And it's good to work with someone or to collaborate with someone who kind of are in the same aesthetic appreciation.
What about the dream project that is connected to fashion but in the Philippines?
Dream project.
Yeah.
I think we're starting with a lot of dream projects already, like Suki, who has done this Vogue exhibit
Yes.
in Paris. I think the media can do a lot. Yeah, we designers can create, can prepare the products, can inspire them projects, but I think they're the ones that can plan the projects and that can do the right marketing for the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the next step for the Lulu Tan-Gan brand?
Oh, I still don't know.
Are you
It's
still
a surprise.
Are you still reeling from the show? I mean, it just happened like a couple of weeks back.
Right, but soon we'll have Turnocon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turnocon will be a very interesting one because this year, on January 2025, it will be a bigger show.
Is it your first Turnocon?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think you only join the main competition because you have it happens every other year.
Correct.
Yeah, but there are sub shows that's done in, like, I think it has been done at the malls in
Yes.
Aura, and also the Galleria, Museo Galleria.
Yes, and
Yeah.
also in Japan,
And in
our
Japan,
dear friend
yes.
Dennis Lustico showed there for his
Right.
Turnocon. But I'm glad that you're championing female designers because, who knows the body of a female best but a female, right? I mean, not underlining of, about our other designer luminaries in the country, right? But what about other pieces that you haven't created yet that you want to create as a line?
I think maybe new materials, but new indigenous materials.
Such as?
Yeah, Piña has been around, is already an industry.
Yes.
It just needs to be constantly revived and designers and creatives constantly innovating. But I think there is the water lily. There is
Interesting.
Yeah, I think abaca is still very. Abaca is often used for home because of its roughness.
Yes, and sturdiness, yeah.
Sturdiness, yeah. But I think we can do a lot of more accessories, more interesting accessories.
That's
with
interesting.
abaca.
Water lily can be a great industry. I mean,
Yes.
it's abundant, it's sustainable. In fact, people need to revisit, the lakes around our country
Right.
and to help,
So much
remove
water, yeah,
Exactly. And what do you want to create with water lily?
I think we have to find the right feasible fiber, which we already have, and I think PTRI has come up with it, but I heard that many years ago. And so far, it's not been on a commercial, it has not been offered to us creatives. So going back to about how I see the future, or if I'm positive about the industry, it really is a collaboration of the private
Yes.
and the government.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And of course, we are very thankful and appreciate what the First Lady has done for us. And not just the creatives, but a lot of the indigenous have been introduced directly to the Manila or the other city to the market, direct
Yes.
to the market.
Yes.
But there should still be ways to bridge craft to design. Yes, there still needs to be more innovation.
Yes, machinery,
Yes.
equipment, obviously,
And
to make sure that
design relevance.
design relevance, yes.
Yes,
And of course, markets.
Right.
I mean, you can create as much as you want, but if you don't have a market, then it stays there.
Correct. So we have the media.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to see what Lulu Tan-Gan is going to pull out of her hat of tricks, per se.
Surprise.
Surprise.
If there's
Anyway,
any.
last question. What is your biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake? Let me see. I don't know.
Maybe that's a mistake on its own. You don't know.
I actually really don't plan too far. I think I'm just very spontaneous with opportunities that come.
Nice.
I also work hard. I love what I'm doing, so it makes it, tolerable if in case there are challenges that
Yeah.
come in between. Sige na lang ng sige,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess being positive about things that could be negative, like
Yes.
turn off the news muna.
And
You know,
create,
yeah.
yes.
And just create, yes.
Thank you
See
so
the
much.
beautiful side, yeah.
Thank you so much, Lulu, for being with us and educating us on your career and what is in store for you in the future. And that is it for today's show. I'm Ferdi Salvador. Catch the Bilyonaryo News channel on Free TV Channel 31 and on cable via Cignal Channel 24. Thanks for watching the Bilyonaryo News channel, always on top. No?